Hi, I'm Lisa Marie. If you are new, welcome to my channel. If you are returning, thank you so much. If you want to craft your best life along with me, let's get started right now. Today I will be making a customized noodle board or stove cover, and I'm going to be using my Cricut Explore 3 to do it. And I want to thank Cricut for sponsoring today's video. So I've got these pieces of wood. They belong to my neighbor. They were using them for a temporary path. That's why they are stapled together with that burlappy. I don't know what it is. Anyway, what I need to do is, using these pieces of wood, I need to come up with a 22 by 30 piece. So I'm going to be cutting 30-inch pieces from these until I get to 22 inches. Then I'll use the last one to make my two sides for the noodle board or stove cover. So I just wanted you to see the wood. It needs to be sanded and cleaned and all of that. I have this tool. It is a staple remover, but a little more heavy duty than an office kind. So you see that part right there, it goes under the staple and then you can lift it up. So for example, there are staples all along this. And so I need to get them all out so that I can get these pieces of wood apart. So that's my first step. Well, there you go. I got them all apart, and now I'm going to sand them down, get them cleaned up, and then I'm going to start cutting. I'm going to use my Black & Decker sander. Sorry, there is a dog. And I'm going to use the 120 grit sandpaper to start with. I laid all the pieces next to each other. I'm going to mark on the board where I need to put things, and then I'm going to drill my pilot holes all the way down both sides. And then I'm going to start attaching my first slat across. I'm going to do that on both sides, and I'm going to make sure that it's nice and even. Now I'm sitting on the ground, and I'm going to lay out the rest of them so that I can go ahead and drill the screws right into one on each side. And there we are. I'm at the very last one right now. Very satisfying. And then when I turn it over, there it is. You can see the noodle board. If you are enjoying this video, stop what you're doing right now and hit that like button. It really helps YouTube to show my video to more people, and I really appreciate it. Thanks. I've sanded the board, all the pieces off camera, and now I'm going to use my weathered oak Minwax finish. And I'm just going to put on gloves and use a cloth, and there it is. It's a beautiful color. And then I got these two handles from the Habitat for Humanity Restore, and I'm going to spray paint them with the Rust-Oleum Matte Black. And I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so what I've done here is I've measured my noodle board. I've added the handles, which I just figured out where the middle of each side was, and then I drew on the back little dots where I should screw in. And I wasn't going to put a lot of time into sharing that because it just depends on your board and where you want to put your handles. But my goal here was to center this. The screws come from underneath, and then you literally screw it right into these two holes right here. So I found the very center of my noodle board right here. And I want to make my decal that I'm going to do 12 by 12 inches. I think that would be the best. Now we're going to go over to the Cricut. We're going to go to Design Space, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make my design. Cricut is a smart cutting machine that allows you to create personalized projects like this with hundreds of materials. It works with a software called Design Space, and it comes free with the machine. This is where you can create your project and browse from hundreds of images and fonts. So once you've created your design, Design Space will send it to your machine to cut. And let me show you. I'm using the Cricut Explore 3, and now I'm just opening the machine. And then I also have this little attachment that you can put right on the end, and it's a great place for your smart vinyl, and that's what I'm using today, the white permanent smart vinyl. I'm gonna feed it into that holder, which is also a little cutter, by the way, and then I'm gonna open Cricut Design Space on my computer. And once I get inside, I'm going to search images, and what I'm gonna type in is customized kitchen. And I figured maybe I'd find something cute there to put on my noodle board. And when you open it up, there are so many choices. Now, I had looked ahead and saved one in my favorites, but I just wanted to show you all the options that they give you. I mean, there's so many, and most of these are free. And then there's the design that I picked on the left. I thought that was super cute, so I want to personalize it. So now I'm just going to size it. I figured out that I needed it to be about 12, just under 12 by 12. So I'm gonna go up to, you can either grab the little ends or you can go up and unlock your design where I'm hitting it right now, and you can actually type in the dimensions, and they're inches in there. And you can also change that from inches to something else. But I'm using inches, and that way I know how big it's going to be, and I also know how big it can be on my mat. Now I'm gonna click text, and I'm gonna get a text box, and I'm gonna drag it and size it in that opening between the design. And then I'm gonna pick a font, and I just search until I find a font that I like. And then I'm gonna click to choose that font. And you can choose fonts that are within Cricut on your system or all, which is both of those. So I picked one called Annie Lou, I believe, and then I'm typing my last name on there, and I'm gonna size it. Then I'm gonna open another text box, pick another font, and I'm gonna type the word "the," so it's going to say "The Stewarts." And I'm gonna go ahead and size that and make sure it's exactly the way I want. I can make the letters longer or wider, whatever you wanna do. You can unlock the little piece that you're working with, and then you can size it the way you want. Now I created another text box because down below it's gonna say EST period for established, and then the year that we were married, which is 2007. And I'm going to play around with a couple different fonts until I find the one that I like. Again, it's all personalized. It's so easy. Whatever your preference is, you can make this look pretty much any way you want. There are so many options in there. Now I'm going to highlight the entire design, and then I'm going to attach it. And when it says attach, that means it's going to cut it all in one piece. So now I'm going to select my material, which is the Smart Vinyl Permanent. I like to go with more for pressure. That's just my personal preference. And then it's going to go to my machine, and you see I push the button when it flashes, and it's going to make sure I have enough paper in there. And if I don't, it'll tell me that I need to make adjustments. Now it's cutting. And of course I sped this up, and when it gets to 100%, it's all done. And then you push the button, and then your paper comes out of the machine. Now I'm going to pull it through that holder and use the cutter and just cut right off the piece I need. Now this is white, it's going to be hard for you to see the design until I get it on the transfer paper. But I'm using two different tools. I'm using the scraper tool and the weeding tool. And so now I've taken out some of the little pieces on the inside, and then I can take out the bigger piece around. Now this is a pretty big design, so when I get partway through, I'm going to cut some of that excess off so I have less to hold on to while I'm weeding the rest of it. And weeding is just the part that you don't use in the design, it's just the excess. And now I'm just taking off the rest of it. And this is the Cricut transfer paper, and what you do, it's clear. You cut out a size that fits your design, and then what you're going to do is lay the clear transfer tape right over the design. And with this large of a piece, I'm going to start with just the top and then pull from underneath so that I can use my scraper and just kind of slowly glide that over my design, and that way it'll be easier to apply it. If it's smaller, you can just take off the whole piece and lay it right over the top. I was afraid that I would make a mistake if I did it that way. And sometimes you have to scrape extra hard to get the design to get onto the transfer paper, no problem. And there it is, it's all off, and now you can see my design. If you enjoyed this video and this is your kind of thing, then definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can become part of my YouTube family, and you'll always be notified when my next video goes live. And now the part we've all been waiting for is we get to center the design right on there. And remember, I made that little mark where the center was. And now I'm just carefully laying it down from the center and then pushing out. And I also burnished over the whole thing. And now I'm taking a blade. I want to cut in between each of those slats so that all of my little pieces will lay down flat. Plus, then I only have to remove one little stripe of the transfer tape at a time, which makes this much easier and more accurate. And then I can burnish right over this again with my scraper tool or my fingers, whatever I want, to make sure that my design is on there really well. I'm going to put 2 coats of the polyurethane over the entire noodle board to seal it. I am so happy with how this turned out. It was honestly so easy, and I love personalizing it with my Cricut. Definitely worth it, and just so custom. Nobody else has this exact one, and I love that. I could even make these for gifts if I wanted to. Anyway, you've got to try it. It's so fun and easy. A huge thanks to Cricut for sponsoring my video and supporting my channel. Thank you so much for watching my video. I truly appreciate it, and I want you to know that you are a blessing to me. If you enjoyed this video, I've got more videos on the screen. Be sure to click one of them next, and I'll see you there. Bye.